Hello and welcome to Community Chats. I'm your host, Aley Hammer, and today we're interviewing Lloyd Ernst, the CEO and founder of Cloudstaff. Lloyd, thank you so much for being here today. Can you start by telling us a little bit about Cloudstaff?
Thanks, Aley. It's great to be here. Cloudstaff has about 3,000 staff. We started originally in Australia and the Philippines, and last year we did a Series B raise of about 30 million, which is helping us open footprints into India and South America as well. And we're in the outsourcing sort of industry, but we're a little bit different from most of the classic outsourcing companies where we don't do work for Telstra or Verizon or T-Mobile or any of the big guys. We focus on small to medium enterprises, and our strategy is to be able to provide them with a global workforce so that they can use that to be able to help grow their business.
Wow, that sounds like a real game changer, and you definitely do take the hassle out of finding staff at a fraction of the cost of traditional recruitment. So can you share with us, what are the benefits of being on the AWS cloud to your business and also to your customers?
Well, let me start off with a little bit of a story. So when we first set up in the Philippines, we were looking for offices, and this was about 10 years ago. And when we walked into the first office, my technical guy was looking around saying, "Oh, over there, we can build the server room and we can put the UPSs in and we'll put the servers and we'll need some aircon and all that sort of stuff that was going through it. We better check the loading on the floor because if we add a SAN later." And I just stopped him and said, "Just hold your horses. When we do this business in the Philippines, when we start this business, there will be no servers in the office whatsoever." So from day one, we banned any form of bare metal server. And I said to the guy, "Look, you can put racks in, you can put great switches and we will get 100 megabit connections to every possible internet provider that we can." And so when we built the business here, we built it around the premise that there would never be a server inside any of our offices. We don't back up any of the PCs to a local server. All of this went directly onto the cloud. So that was one of the basic premises that we had. And the reason that we did that is that this area is somewhat renowned for volcanoes, floods, typhoons, and earthquakes, just to name a few. And so we wanted to make sure that we had the flexibility of being able to move everything, pick up a whole office of staff, move them to another office, and to do that with very quick, with a very fast deployment. It meant that you couldn't have servers inside the offices there. And so from day one, we said everything we're doing is cloud. And as we started to deploy more and more servers, we have now about 60 applications that we run all on AWS. Some of it runs in AWS in Singapore, some of it runs in Australia, some of it runs on the West Coast. But from day one, that was always the strategy. So what AWS has given Cloudstaff is not just the ability to spin these servers up sort of quickly, but it gives us a really important function in our disaster recovery as we need a flexible workforce.
Wow, I mean, you truly are born on the cloud. That is amazing. Lloyd, how has Cloudstaff helped your customers to fulfill their staffing needs?
So one of the things that we think is, as in the future, businesses will get a little bit smaller, not larger. If you've got 300 people working for you today, in the future, you might only have 250, but you'll have another 200 staff in the outsourcing, offshoring, cloud staffing, gig economy model. And so what Cloudstaff really provides these businesses is not just a more cost-effective staffing solution, but we take care of the management. It's about saving time. And so it's with the occupational health and safety, with HR issues, it's really expensive and it takes a lot of time to be able to manage staff. And so we take that away so that the business owners can focus on growing their business. I think the other interesting comment about how businesses are using this service, when we look at what our customers are doing, I mentioned before that we're not like the large outsourcing companies. When you find those businesses, they tend to be they'll have a room of 30 people or 50 people all doing one thing. And because Cloudstaff works with small to medium enterprises, You know, our customers want one person doing 30 different things. And we look at what some of our customers are using. They will start off with maybe accounting and some back office work, and they'll add some software developers or tech support. Our customers tend to have 4 or 5 different disciplines. And so it's almost like you've come here, you've set up an office, but Cloudstaff is the one who is kind of driving and managing everything locally for you.
You've had so much success, and as a company at the forefront of technology and the outsourcing industry, what does the future hold for Cloudstaff? I mean, you've done so much already. Where are you heading?
Well, you know, 2020 was certainly an interesting year. You know, it's called a COVID tailwind, and you know, the globe has had a global lesson on remote working. We managed to still grow the business by about 38% last year, and now as we start to see businesses establish, you know, what is their post-COVID strategy, you know, we will probably grow this month by about 10%. You know, we're adding 200 or 300 new staff every month. So we certainly see that, you know, the role that businesses are playing with regards to, you know, their use of cloud-based services and AWS, it's just continuing to expand. And I know people talk about transitions, which were 2 or 3 years out, being brought forward. We're finding this is happening, I think, even faster than people expected. And so businesses are expanding and adding services. And it's basically, it's also because, you know, they've mastered the technology. In the past, we've had prospects that we've spoken to when they said, you know, we'd love to look at, you know, setting a team up with Cloudstaff, but, you know, the security issues or the technology, or we've got a legacy application which is only available on this server. All that's changed overnight. When people had to work from home, all of a sudden it's opened up the opportunity that those staff can actually be part of the Cloudstaff model, working for businesses anywhere in the world.
Well, it's really good to hear that, you know, COVID has actually done wonders for your business and something good has come out of it, I guess. And, you know, here at AWS, we do pride ourselves of having a very peculiar culture, and it does help us stand out a little bit from the crowd. So can you tell us something peculiar about Cloudstaff potentially that makes your culture really unique? And I do have in my notes from our previous conversation, something about an office party at the Riesel Stadium. So maybe you can mention that one too.
So, you know, my background was working in the early days of the PC industry with Apple and Microsoft, and, you know, the days when Apple would hire out a stadium and fill it with snow for their Christmas party, or Microsoft would, you know, fly everyone off to a Caribbean cruise and those sorts of things. So one of the things when we built Cloudstaff is we wanted to make sure that we had a very desirable company for people to want to come and work. It's a simple fact, if we can attract great staff, they attract great customers, which in turn attract great staff. And the culture is a really important part of that. And especially when you work in areas in Asia, the family plays a very important part in the social fabric here. And so, you know, we've embraced all those elements as part of our culture. You know, we have a program called Building the #1 Workplace in the Philippines. We, you know, do everything from free beers at the office. We run a radio station. You know, we have, and then we have amazing events at mid-year and end-of-year parties. We give away cars. Or last year, in 2019, we hired the largest indoor stadium in the Philippines. And we had about 8,000 people turn up. That was the staff and their family. And we just had an amazing concert which featured Arnold, who was the lead singer for Journey, that 1970s and 80s rock band. And it was fantastic. And it was kind of taking, the magic with that was bringing the families all together. Yeah, as we grow, we have that the ability to grow and scale these sort of events and have a bit of fun along the way. So it's very cool.
Oh my gosh, Lloyd. All I can think about is that you've hired stadiums and you're giving away cars. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you get an influx of job resumes landing on your door after this video, but it's been so amazing to speak to you. Thank you so much. I'm really glad to see your business is thriving, and it's such a pleasure to partner with you. And we're so glad that, you're using AWS. So thank you so much, Lloyd, for your time today. And to all our viewers at home, we'll see you next time.